In what is likely going to be the MiG-21 of the 21st century, the free world has to take into account that the J-35 will be the point guard fighter built in large numbers for the People's Liberation Army Air Force. This is going to be something that the free world has to account for the next 30 to 40 years. And the reason I bring up the MiG-21 is because this aircraft is already being sold internationally. China will make J-35 a point guard fighter in large numbers. And this goes through what China's plan is. China's new point guard, Wang Yongkyung, described by Global Times as chief expert at the Shenyang Aircraft Design and Research Institute of the state-owned Aviation Industry Corporation of China, described the jet in an interview with Global Times. The jet, he said, will serve as the point guard in China's combat operations in the future, utilizing what he calls air-sea twin configuration approach and a one aircraft multiple variants concept. Air-sea twin configuration and one aircraft multiple variants of the J-35 series is a development program we've undertaken in response to the country's needs. We are steadily advancing this project in strict accordance with the planned roadmap, Wang said in an interview with Global Times. While it is impressed at air shows, the new jet is meant for combat, Wang said in the interview. During the design phase, combat effectiveness was our primary objectives. The J-35 distinctive features include enhanced stealth performance and exceptional combat capabilities for coordinated operations, Wang said of the jet. Wang also used the point guard analogy to refer to the jet's ability to both score itself while also effectively coordinates other battlefield assets. Something we saw recently with the engagement between Pakistan and India, with the Pakistani J-10 fighters engaging Indian aircraft across the border. Using long-range PL-15 missiles, they were able to allegedly inflict damage on the Indians. The Indians, of course, have never said a word about this. They don't admit any losses in spite of U.S. intelligence, French intelligence, the Dassault Corporation sending people over and them being denied access to any of the information. But bringing up the MiG-21, for those of you who aren't familiar, the MiG-21 Fishbed, approximately 60 countries across 4 continents have flown the MiG-21 and still serves many nations 7 decades after its maiden flight. It set aviation records, becoming the first most produced supersonic jet in aviation history, the most produced combat jet since the Korean War, and previously the longest production run of any combat aircraft. With China's ability to produce anything in vast numbers quickly, it's becoming clear that we are going to have to see this aircraft for probably the next 30 to 50 years. And yes, it will be in other nations' hands other than China. There's reports that Indonesia is interested. There's reports that other countries are interested. Besides this, Chinese defense stocks soar as Pakistan eyes major weapons deal. Pakistan plans to buy J-35 jets, KJ-500 aircraft, and HQ-19 missiles as part of the weapons deal. Chinese defense companies shares rallied significantly on Monday following Pakistan's announcement that its intent to procure advanced fighter jets and other sophisticated weaponry from the Asian power, Bloomberg reported. Now, the report is right here. The Pakistani government publicly confirmed its intention via social media post on Friday, detailing plans to acquire 40 J-35 fifth-generation fighters alongside KJ-500 early boarding aircraft and HQ ballistic missile defense systems. That's a very substantial purchase for a country like Pakistan, and it definitely shifts the balance of power. You're introducing a stealth aircraft to the subcontinent where stealth is very much going to be the make or break of that situation. And it is everywhere. Stealth is definitely the future. It's the now, but it's still going to maintain its effectiveness in the future to some extent. And even today, just today, June 20th, there was more news about this J-35. The Chinese aeronautic industry is absolutely on fire right now and needs to be watched carefully. China's new J-35 stealth fighter seen like never before. As well as new imagery of the J-35, we have gotten our best look at the KJ-600 carrier-based airborne early warning aircraft that will operate alongside of it. As you look at these aircraft, the bottom aircraft, 501, tail number 501, is a research aircraft with a research boom. 506, the top aircraft, is the production version of the naval variant of the J-35. And this article goes in depth into this, looks at that picture, and honestly, it is a beautiful aircraft. Showing a side-by-side with a J-20, giving you a good size comparison. Obviously, this will be in the description. Showing that it is clearly armed with a gun, just like the F-35. Ground prototype of the navalized variant. Official photo. And I want to show you this, okay? This is hilarious. I suppose form follows function. So you can always say that its function dictated its form. But if you are in any way familiar with the E-2C Hawkeye, the U.S. Naval AWACS aircraft, then you're going to recognize the Chinese AWACS aircraft. It looks just a little bit familiar, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Again, form follows function. I understand that. I totally understand that. But no one will ever accuse them of being too innovative, will they? Not that the J-35 looks like anything else around. It certainly doesn't look like an F-35. So, I think we're going to have what is the equivalent of the Mig-21 Fishbed. One of the most prolific aircraft the free world is going to face for the next 50 years is the J-35. And a little bit more unsettling news about the J-35. On May 19th, breaking, the PL-17 air-to-air missile now hides in the J-35's internal weapons bay. The J-35 plus the PL-17, which allegedly, we cannot confirm this, has a range of 400 kilometers, or almost 300 miles. That is incredible for an air-to-air missile. And then for that missile to be delivered by a stealth aircraft, that is a potent combination and something the United States needs to take very seriously. And not just the United States needs to take this seriously. Almost every country in Asia needs to take this very seriously. Besides the J-35, which is a very effective weapon system, you can see a nation like Pakistan, now this is available on the open market. The Chinese have sold it to them. The HQ-19 is a long-range surface-to-air defense system developed by the People's Republic of China, designed as a high-altitude interceptor. It is intended to counter medium-range ballistic missiles, hypersonic glide vehicles, and satellites in low Earth orbit. With both anti-ballistic missile and anti-satellite roles, the HQ-19 enhances China's integrated missile defense and space control capabilities. What else does that do? If you're Pakistan, India does have satellites. This is a game changer. They also purchased this aircraft, the KJ-500, early warning aircraft, which is alleged to be able to detect F-35 and F-22 stealth fighters. So we have a potent combination going out around the world right now. Pakistan proved in its fight against India that the AWACS aircraft missile team is dominant in the 21st century. J-10 aircraft firing long-range PL-15 missiles without using the aircraft's own radar, fired those missiles at targets designated by the AWACS aircraft. The missiles were controlled mid-flight via secure data link by those AWACS aircraft, so these J-10s never had to show themselves. And then you have a stealth aircraft, such as the F-35, the J-35, capable of carrying an air-to-air missile with at least a 30 to 40% longer range than the PL-15 that you really can't detect now, is a game changer and is recognized as such. China's J-35A to give Pakistan strategic air superiority over India until 2040, experts claim. And this article goes through what the J-35 means in the subcontinent, where there is currently no stealth fighter. India does have a stealth program, but it's going to be years before that stealth program is even in prototype phase. So India is looking down the barrel of this. And you can say that definitively because in this article, in a seismic shift poised to redefine the strategic calculus of Southeast Asian power, Pakistan is reportedly on track to acquire up to 40 units of the Chinese fifth-generation J-35 stealth fighter, with its first batch expected to arrive within months. Pilots are already in Pakistan, as it says in this article, training on this aircraft. They're going to be getting this aircraft within months, while the repercussions of the battle in May are still rippling throughout New Delhi and Paris. And India's new stealth fighter it's taking a while.
The Defense Research and Development Organization has completed a design phase of the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, India's indigenous fifth-generation stealth fighter jet. With government approval secured in April last year, the project is now progressing towards its first prototype flight by late 2028. Designed with cutting-edge technology, the AMCA aims to rival existing fifth-generation fighters like Russia's Su-57 and the United States' F-35 and F-22.
The aircraft model which you are showing in the back side, it is showing our manufacturing capability. We have come out with the design what we wanted as per the user requirements, that is the Air Force requirements. They have asked to make us fifth-generation aircraft, twin-engine based aircraft. So this all will give you,
looks like we've told people.
KF-57 or if you have seen F-35, it is comparable to that aircraft. That category it is.
It has the stealth capability. It has been designed with a diverter supersonic intake, which you can see. A host of new technologies which we have worked upon, which includes the internal weapon bay, which has an all complete glass cockpit, which has capability of beyond visual range missiles and air-to-air capability, air-to-ground capability. It's a complete 5.5 generation aircraft.
The AMCA is a twin-engine, single-seat stealth fighter designed for air superiority, strike missions, and electronic warfare. It is being developed in collaboration with multiple DRDO labs and private sector industries.
We are on the right track As on day, we have already identified the industries for all this, the manufacturing, and we have already initiated several of the works towards that for the structural assemblies and the systems.
The AMCA program represents a major advancement in India's defense aviation sector, with production set to commence in the next decade. The Indian Air Force is expected to induct the aircraft as part of its long-term modernization strategy.
But does India have the time to wait until the middle of next decade to have a production line of these aircraft? Well, not every Southeast Asian country or South Asian country is going to be quite so helpless. South Korea has been continually testing and is in full production now of their KF-21 Boramae.
South Korea is edging closer to completing its first production KF-21 Boramae fighter jet. Photos released this week show that the first production model of the 4.5 generation multi-role fighter jet is proceeding smoothly, South Korean media reported. Assembly is currently underway on 12 aircraft, with a second production contract covering an additional 20 jets expected to be signed in June. The move marks significant progress in the KF-21 fighter jet project, which is designed to replace South Korea's aging fleet of F-4 and F-5 fighters and complement South Korea's F-35 inventory. The KF-21 Boramae features a number of advanced features, including a low observable design, a modern radar, and a suite of advanced sensors. The fighter jet is also capable of integrating a variety of Western and domestic weapon systems, making it a strategic force for the Republic of Korea Air Force, ROKAF. According to a statement from Korea Aerospace Industries, the production schedule remains on track, with the company emphasizing the importance of quality assurance to meet operational standards required by the Republic of Korea Air Force. The Republic of Korea Air Force is scheduled to begin operational testing of the KF-21 in 2026 after completing a series of flight tests and ground evaluations. Overall, the total production of this fighter jet is planned to reach 120 units by 2032. The KF-21 Boramae project is a symbol of South Korea's military technological independence and the country's efforts to strengthen its air combat capabilities in the face of regional security dynamics.
Not all Southeast Asian and Asian countries will be as helpless as others. Some have taken this very seriously. And with the KF-21, South Korea is poised to leap into the 5th generation. As you heard, this is a 4.5 generation fighter. But they do have plans of turning this into a 5th generation. The KF-21EX is instead aimed to transform the Boramae into an aircraft capable to rival 5th generation fighter jets. This variant will incorporate an internal weapons bay to achieve this goal. An internal weapons bay would reduce the radar signature of the aircraft given the weapons being stowed internally, as for the F-22 and the F-35 and the J-35, and would enable the KF-21 to achieve true 5th generation stealth characteristics. 4 Meteor long-range air-to-air missiles or 8 smaller air-to-ground munitions would be stored inside the weapons bay of the Boramae. The KF-21EX is also intended to play a critical role in the next air combat system, a future network that leverages unmanned aerial vehicles and satellite data links. As already explained, the Republic of Korea Air Force has officially ordered feasibility study to upgrade KF-21 into a 5.5 generation fighter jet. And this is already in production, in mass production. This is an article about some of the innovative techniques being used for production of this aircraft. So although India is still reeling from their blow with Pakistan, Pakistan is moving forward rapidly. And they are upgrading to what will be probably the most prolific stealth fighter the free world has to face for the next 50 years. The J-35 stealth fighter. Undoubtedly to be produced in vast quantities and sold around the world. Egypt has been reportedly interested in it. Indonesia has expressed interest in it. They have bailed out of the KF-21 program. They are literally going everywhere around the world. They're in talks with the Turks. They're in talk with the Chinese. But this has proven to be one of the most innovative designs on the market outside of the free world. And we're going to have to face it. So free world, meet the new Fishbed. Get used to that profile. Let's learn about its capabilities. If you liked the video, hit the like. Hopefully you'll subscribe. Share it with a friend. Let them know that the F-35 is going to be this generation's Mig-21. And it's starting right now in Pakistan. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.